Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week.
Local organizations work to get out the vote, and they're targeting the Latino community.
And the truth behind Greek pledging, the problem some say is plaguing this tradition.
It might still be football season, but at Carolina, it's never too early to find out what's new in the world of basketball.
Weathercaster Corey Davis will tell us if these cooler temperatures are here to stay.
All that and one of our area's favorite sweet treats. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to another Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Jason Kahn.
And I'm Carly Swain. Thank you for joining us.
There are a number of positive aspects of Greek life. You can make lifelong friends, and of course, there are plenty of service opportunities.
Yeah, but there is a dark side, and it's called hazing. Reporter Kate Howard looks at hazing on our campus and what university officials are doing to stop it.
This is the public face of fraternities and sororities. What they don't want you to see is what this young woman, we'll call her Susan, experienced in her freshman year.
It was girls in black stockings, and they were yelling at us and screaming at us to get our asses into gear. Then they ran us outside in our PJs, and we had to go to the frat next door. It was completely awful. And then because they told us to wear our bathing suits, like we were supposed to wear our bathing suits, we just stripped down, and the guys, like, it was actually just the seniors of the house before they marked our bodies, like where we had like problems, and it was just awful. The whole time our sisters were there with the black masks on. At this point, most of them had taken them off and just watching us, like laughing and yelling, "Oh, we did it last year, we did it last year."
There's an anonymous hazing hotline, and the Greek Judicial Board is trying to prevent hazing. But senior Brandon Whittington says it still happens.
You know, it's not as bad as it used to be, first and foremost. And also, I think fraternities are smarter with how they haze, you know. It definitely still exists, but I think fraternities are smarter with the times and, you know, the level of hazing.
Hazing among fraternities and sororities supposedly happens most during the 6 to 8 week period after rush and before new members are initiated. This time frame is called the new member education period. Officials want to educate chapters to let them know hazing must end. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kate Howard, Carolina Week.
Greeks who haze face serious consequences. In 2006, the university found the fraternity Sigma Chi guilty of hazing. The frat lost the chance to hold rush or any other formal events for 3 years.
In an effort to keep our campus safe, officials are making sure all the nuts and bolts are working for the Alert Carolina warning system. The Emergency Warning Committee continued testing the emergency sirens Tuesday afternoon. The sirens will sound during life-threatening situations. The committee told students about the test through text messages and email. The UNC Department of Public Safety is making sure you know before you know you're being watched if you're speeding on campus. Meet Speed Sentry, this device uses the Department of Public Safety's new radar unit, LightDAR, to more accurately measure vehicle speeds with laser technology. Using Speed Sentry is one of several new initiatives to make transportation on campus safer, following several recent pedestrian accidents. DBS spokesman Randy Young hopes the device encourages motorists to slow down.
We would say to motorists here that certainly there's no turning back the hands of time to go back and wish you had gone through an intersection or through a crosswalk at a slower rate of speed.
The Speed Sentry is currently on South Road, but DPS will move it periodically.
Seniors, it's never too early to start thinking about what you want to do to make a living after college. Students interested in finding a job and wanting help or advice from professionals are taking advantage of Career Week. Students are learning how to handle themselves during interviews and getting lots of other helpful tips as they start thinking about life in the real world. Director Laura Lane says not to stress out just yet.
A senior who was a little panicked about her job search. She's graduating in May, And I said, you know, the good thing is you're here now. You've got plenty of time. You haven't waited until the week before graduation to come talk to us.
Many students were in and out of Haynes Hall Monday taking advantage of the Resume Marathon. They waited patiently for one-on-one sessions with counselors to have their work critiqued. Counselors try to ensure that students' resumes will look appealing to employers, and these students will have a head start on their classmates going into Thursday's career fair at the Dean Smith Center. Well, one of the best ways to help any group of citizens is to get them involved in a political process.
Melanie Fernandez tells us that that's the current #1 priority for one advocacy group in the area.
El Pueblo is a North Carolina nonprofit organization that focuses on strengthening the Latino community, with a primary focus on registering more Latinos to vote.
Obviously, there's a lot of organizations that are doing voter registration, but we're unique in the fact that we're using youth and we're trying to recruit the Latino vote.
According to the United States Census, North Carolina has the fastest growing Latino population in the country.
Here, a mock booth has been set up to illustrate what it will be like in November.
El Pueblo requires Social Security numbers as verification of citizenship, but the immigration reform organization NC Listen is concerned El Pueblo is registering illegal immigrants.
Close to half of the entire Latino Hispanic population in North Carolina is here illegally. What is El Pueblo going to do to make sure that the people they talk to are legal residents?
Godinez says her organization provides instructions in Spanish, emphasizing that registering to vote under a forged Social Security number is a felony and ultimately can lead to deportation.
Because there is no national identity and, you know, we can't find out on the spot, but there is check boxes and people are checking off that they are 18, that they are a U.S. citizen.
Less than 2 months remain before the elections, and registering every eligible voter is a priority among Latino leaders in the Triangle area. In Raleigh, I'm Melanie Fernandez, Carolina Week.
UCS isn't the only group trying to help people adjust to changes in life. Sometimes a familiar face makes starting a new life easier. That's why El Centro Latino exists. El Centro Latino helps members of the Latino community adjust to life in Orange County. Its services range from scheduling doctor's appointments to guiding people through job searches. Program Director Marisol Silva says finding a job is a major concern for most immigrants.
The people I see every single day, that people here come to work so hard and to work in anything. They do not complain.
Are the tools El Centro Latino uses to guide newcomers as they try to make a fresh start.
Some Latinos at Carolina think their projects would benefit if officials approve a Latino center on campus. Students met Tuesday night at a forum to listen to different student panel members and ask them questions about how such a center would actually work. Director of Diversity and Multicultural Affairs Archie Irvin was at the forum, as well as student body president J.J. Rayner. Rayner says she thinks the center would bring many benefits.
I imagine the center would do best if it incorporated both the cultural and the research element. So looking not only at the community needs, but also at the needs of the state and the needs of the student body to see how these changes are really impacting us.
This is the first time that an incoming freshman class is 30% minority, and Rayner thinks that's great.
Well, has your stomach been grumbling lately?
Well, we can find out where you can eat healthy and pay less than the price of 2 slices of pizza.
There's something about you, baby. I can't get enough. There's something about you, baby. I got you looking at me, I'm gonna call you bluff. There's something about you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Have you been a dad today?
Down to the morning light.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Quiet leaders are often the most effective leaders. Hillary Schrantz introduces us to just such a leader and the innovative projects she's involved in.
UNC junior Maggie West works within the Campus Y as a co-chair for Homeless Outreach Poverty Eradication, or HOPE. She says it was a service trip to D.C. in high school and one particular couple in the park that sparked her passion for the homeless.
The thing about Victoria and Charles is that they were still so in love, and they had each other, and so they weren't hopeless. But a lot of people that we meet are incredibly lonely.
Maggie wants to brighten some of those lonely days. Campus Y Director Virginia Carson admires her dedication to the cause and her leadership ability.
Maggie is one of the quiet leaders who does things because they matter to her.
Megan Strickland is Maggie's co-chair. She believes many of Hope's successes, such as the documentary project called The Faces of Franklin, can be attributed to Maggie's level of commitment.
Maggie is the backbone of all of Hope, and she has made Hope what it is today.
Some might wonder whether her long hours with Hope keep her from having a social life. Hope member Savannah Banta says that just isn't the case.
Her passion for this, it's not just something that she does on the side to have on a resume. It's her life.
Maggie lives her life as a homeless advocate, so interacting with the homeless community is essential.
An old saying goes, you have to feel it to know it. To better feel the effects of homelessness, Maggie and Hope Committee members travel to Project Homestart, a center for homeless women and children, on Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
Here, Maggie and her co-chair watch children play. We are not showing the children to protect their identities. They also plan their weekly Hope meetings. These meetings keep members doing exactly what Maggie thinks is key to dealing with the issue of homelessness. The group has started a new project, a homeless magazine due out the end of the semester. Maggie is, of course, leading the way. In Chapel Hill, I'm Hillary Schrantz, Carolina Week.
If you'd like to help the homeless too, you can go to Project Homeless Connect on September 25th to learn about Hope's upcoming magazine and garden project.
Managers at a local restaurant founded by firefighters are playing their part to fight homelessness in Chapel Hill.
Come eat at Firehouse, support the homeless.
Members of Campus Y stood outside Firehouse Subs encouraging people to eat at the restaurant. Firehouse Subs will donate 10% of one day's profits to Project Homeless Connect. It's a one-day event that provides a variety of social services to the homeless, including free medical care, employment assistance, and more. It's September 25th at the Hargraves Community Center. We'll want to fill up on lunch, but you don't want to empty your wallet? Well, Nourish International hosts a weekly hunger lunch on campus. You can grab a quick lunch for only $3, grab a plate and get in line. The menu is simple: rice, beans, and cornbread. If you like that menu, it's a good thing because you'll find that's the only food served here each Wednesday. The organization uses money collected to help communities across the nation, making life a little easier for people who have to scrape by.
People at the Carolina Population Center are in high spirits after receiving one of the most generous gifts in UNC history. The United States Agency of International Development, USAID, recently granted the CPC $180 million for a project called the Measurement Evaluation. The project will help train field researchers to use maps and other tools to target areas of widespread outbreaks. That will help them understand which populations are at risk. Director of the project, Sean Curtis, says the overall goal is to boost the use of health information for populations around the world.
We're working on malaria. We're also working on population and reproductive health, a little bit on maternal and child health, a little bit on TB, a little bit on avian influenza. All areas of health have information needs.
The measure evaluation has already formed partnerships in places such as Asia, Latin America, and Sub-Saharan Africa. Well, is it getting a little bit colder outside, or is it just me?
I think it's a possibility. It feels like we've been a little bit on a weather roller coaster lately, but weather forecaster Corey Davis is here and joins us to tell us what we can expect in this coming week. Corey?
Well, we might be moving from t-shirts and shorts to hoodies. I'll have your forecast coming up.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense, finding the ways that work.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm forecaster Corey Davis, and I can tell you that it's finally safe to put away those umbrellas back in the closet and leave them there for a while, actually, and that's because we're drying out from the rain that we saw yesterday, and we have a much clearer forecast in store. Now, thanks to that sunshine that we'll be seeing, we will be warming up over the next few days, but only slightly. We'll return to the types of temperatures that we're used to seeing this time of year. And it looks like this nice weather will stick around just long enough to give us an absolutely beautiful weekend. We'll have your weekend forecast in just a minute, but first let's take a look at the national map. And you might look at this and say, are all the Doppler radar sites around the country working? The answer is they are. It really is just this clear across most of the U.S. Now, we do have some cloud cover off the East Coast, and if we take a closer look at North Carolina, you'll see that these clouds have been moving in from the southwest throughout the day today. That's what's given us those overcast conditions here in the triangle. Now, there is some rain just off the coast. This is the same system that brought us rain throughout the day yesterday. Fortunately, it's moved off to the east. Now, let's take a closer look at the surface map, and you'll see that there is a cold front just off the coast. It's what's keeping those lingering clouds and rain just over the Carolinas. However, they'll be pushed off toward the east thanks to this high pressure as it moves into our area. That's what will give us those clear conditions for the next few days. And behind that, there's another high pressure system off to the west. It'll be moving in, and by this weekend, we'll stay clear and stay sunny and beautiful weather. So what can we expect for our weekend? Well, if you're headed off to Kenan Stadium on Saturday, you should see a good game between Carolina and Virginia Tech. Now, skies will be partly cloudy throughout the game. Temperatures will be a little on the warm side, but you should see a nice northerly breeze to help cool things off throughout the day. Now, if you're looking for a different destination this weekend, why not try the mountains? Now, they will have mostly sunny skies throughout the weekend. Temperatures, of course, will be a little cooler. You won't need an umbrella this weekend, but you might want to bring a sweatshirt because look at this overnight low, down in the lower 50s. That's quite chilly. Now, you won't see cold conditions at the beach this weekend. It'll be beautiful there also. Partly cloudy skies both days, but still plenty of sunshine if you're looking to get in one last tan, maybe a final swim of the season. Highs approaching 80 degrees with low temperatures in the mid-60s. That's quite comfortable. And let's take a look at our 4-day forecast. Of course, we do have those partly cloudy skies sticking around for most of the week, but we will have plenty of sunny weather here also. Now, you might feel a nip in the air overnight as it'll dip down in the 50s, but then again, we are closing in on fall, and that's what we're used to this time of year, but we couldn't be doing it with any nicer weather.
Yeah, surprisingly, we're going to have a nice week, and even though we felt that little cold front coming through today, we're able to avoid that rain.
That's right, and it looks like a beautiful weekend in store.
Thank you so much, Corey. Well, UNC is one of 5 ABC college bureaus, and this Saturday, ABC's Good Morning America Weekend is broadcasting from our campus. Good Morning America Weekend anchors Kate Snow, Bill Weir, Ron Claiborne, and Marisol Castro are coming to Carolina. The entire Saturday broadcast will be live from UNC's campus, and ABC wants students to come out and participate. If you'd like to be seen on TV, come on out to Polk Place this Saturday morning at 5:30 a.m. Bring your pom-poms, some signs, and come decked out in all of your Carolina gear.
Well, Carolina football playing this Saturday.
Sounds like it's going to be a big game. Sportscaster Walter Storholt joins us now. Tell us about it.
That's right. It's going to be fun. Carolina taking on Virginia Tech, looking for win number 3. Should be good. Coming up in sports, the big weekend is finally here. On Saturday, the Heels will see that the hokey pokey is what it's all about.
Like I said earlier, if they want to win these...
Come on.
And it's a block!
What? What kind of kick was that? You've got to be kidding me!
Hey, hot shot. Sounds like you know a lot about the game.
You should put that to use. Come on, let's go take a jog.
There are plenty of ways that you can volunteer in your community.
Just figure out what you like to do and pass it on to others.
And you know what? You can have a lot of fun doing it, too.
Pick those knees up.
Pick those legs up. Let's go. All right now, show them how to kick that ball.
To find out ways you can volunteer in your community, log on to teensvolunteer.org.
Okay, Ben, here we go, buddy. That was great, Ben. This time, just try to kick the ball.
Do what you like to do. Volunteer.
Football team is getting ready for its first conference game of the year. The Tar Heels will look to continue their winning ways on Saturday against Coastal Division rival Virginia Tech. The Heels haven't fared well against the Hokies in recent years, and they'll need a strong performance from the offense, led by senior wide receiver Brandon Tate. Tate's performance in the first two games already has some Carolina fans talking Heisman. Coach Butch Davis says the Heels must also be ready for the Hokies' aggressiveness style on defense and special teams, which has come to be known as Beamer ball.
They'll capitalize on every opportunity. If you're not sound in all of the phases of special teams, they'll try to find something that you don't do well, and they'll really try to exploit it.
Davis says the Heels will have to continue their defensive intensity, especially when trying to contain Virginia Tech's main weapon, quarterback Tyrod Taylor. The Heels will try to keep the ball out of Taylor's hands and put it instead in the opponent's end zone. The unbeaten UNC men's soccer team faced the Liberty Flames on the turf last night. Thanks to freshman Alex Dixon, the Heels' winning streak continued. Dixon boasted 2 goals, including the game winner in the 4-1 victory. Carolina is now 5-0-1 this season. And the Heels now look ahead to another away game in Boston College on Friday. In order to continue its winning streak, Carolina will have to continue to move the ball around to create scoring opportunities, like on this goal by Gary Lewis last week against NC State. Carolina's ongoing aggressive play will be a must, and the defense and goalies need to remain on their toes to shut down any offensive bursts by Boston College. So far, the Heels are 1-0 in conference play and look forward to another conference matchup. And the volleyball team looks to carry forward in its recent success as it travels to Minneapolis this weekend for a 3-game series. After an 0-3 start, the team has won 4 of its last 5 games, including its recent 3-1 on the road against Colorado. The 4-4 Heels will play Winthrop on Friday. Carolina faces 9-1 TCU and ACC foe Maryland on Saturday. Defensive stalwart Brianna Escola and offensive leaders Lauren Prussing, Christine Vaughn have played well so far this season and will be looking to continue the Heels' success this weekend. And not only Wayne Ellington, Ty Lawson, Danny Green, and Tyler Hansborough all returned for their another season in the Dean Dome, but Roy Williams also brought in a stellar freshman class. Carolina Week's Mark Alexic went to Virginia to give us an up-close look at one of them.
One of these players received national attention from recruiters. Can you guess which one?
I just like everything that with the recruiting process, because like other schools, like they're telling me I'm gonna get 30 minutes a game, I'm gonna get this, that, like with my playing time and how I fit in. But Coach Williams never told me I was gonna get anything. Roy told me everything that I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear.
That's right. In a few months, Ed Davis makes his Tar Heel debut. After Davis led Benedictine High School to 2 state championships, his coach learned something about Ed's personality.
He's not one of those kids that's going to come over and block your shot, scream in your face, chest bump or anything of that nature, unless maybe you've provoked him. You've provoked him. I've seen kids provoke him now in the last 2 years, and when you do, it's scary to watch him become, take it to that other level. And I think that's what Coach Williams will probably get out of him more than I did.
With more than a dozen ACC championship trophies and more than a dozen nets cut down from rims, Carolina is no stranger to winning big. And lucky for the Heels, neither is Davis. His license plate says it all. Big Ed 32 has put up big numbers and has a packed trophy case to prove it. And Davis says he's not done yet. He wants to play in the NBA, but he won't view college just as a stepping stone to the pros.
I'm just looking forward to win a national championship. That's my goal, to win that championship every year that I'm there. It's all about staying in the league, not seeing how fast you can get there. So I want to go like when I'm best prepared, if it's 1 year or if it's 4 years.
Like Tyler Hansborough, playing 4 years of ball at UNC doesn't entice just Ed, but his mother as well.
I'm just grateful that he got a chance to get a full ride to UNC. I mean, to me, you can't get better than that. They'll go further than what they did last season because they have Ed.
So Benedictine High won't have Ed Davis any longer, and his coach knows he might not find another one like him.
he's like a diamond, you know what I mean? But he's not fully cut yet, and when he does, it'll shine in all directions. Sky's the limit for Ed, and I think for Carolina too.
And as we all know, that sky is Carolina blue. From Richmond to Chapel Hill, I'm Mark Oleksic, Carolina Week Sports.
Oh, it's so good to see more Carolina players looking very good, shaping up. I was excited for this year just looking at the players we had returning, and you add in all the recruits, and boy, it's going to be a good year.
It sounds like it. You know, we're watching this piece, Walter, and thinking, do we have a new big man on campus?
I know, we talked about this before, Walter. We have Tyler Zeller coming in, Justin Watts, Larry Drew. It seems like we're set for the next 2 years almost.
Oh, I think Roy Williams has set himself up a very nice Carolina team over the future. Before we go, we also want to mention that Allison Barnes, the UNC swimmer that we've been following over the past couple of weeks, or since last Tuesday, who fell ill in the pool, she did have hyperthermia, but the good news is she's out of critical condition. She's been upgraded to stable condition and is out of the intensive care unit. So good news, UNC swimmer Allison Barnes is recovering right now in UNC hospitals.
That's very good news. Thank you so much, Walter.
Thanks, Walter.
Thank you, guys.
Well, we all scream for ice cream, right?
You know I do, Carly. But when we come back, we'll give you a taste of what it takes to make the best ice cream in town.
Tick, 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 tick. Massive heat waves. Heat waves. Tick. Severe droughts. Tick, 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 tick. Devastating hurricanes. Tick, 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 tick. Our future is up to you. Tick. Go to fightglobalwarming.com while there's still time.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
It's starting to get a little cold outside, but it would have to be freezing for me to turn down some ice cream.
I gotta agree with that. Chelsea Moody looks at what makes Mapleview Farm and its famous ice cream so special.
Mapleview Farm gets cream from its own cows, so it's delivered fresh.
They mix up the ice cream base down at the farm, down at the milk bottling plant. They add the sugar there and all, the cream and all of that.
Then the ice cream makers use this machine to make different flavors, but it's a long process. First, they have to sanitize all the equipment by making a solution to run through the ice cream machine. They sanitize the ice cream pump to get the ice cream from the huge tubs into buckets. Rebecca Stroud describes how the raw cream tastes.
I like it. It's sweet. It's just sweet cream. It's,
They attach the ice cream pump and it pushes the raw cream out of the tube.
It's just like milk. It's a whole lot sweeter.
So when we get it here, it's just, ready to add the flavors.
And they do add flavors. Today, Chris is adding chocolate chips to make mint chocolate chip ice cream. Of course, they add their famous cream, too. Then he pushes the button and the machine mixes the ice cream. But that's not the only thing special about the store.
It's rare, that it's so fresh and it's so local, and
Now the ice cream is finished, but the ice cream isn't necessarily Chris's favorite part about the store.
You just come out here and it's sort of relaxing, so, I really enjoy it.
Now the ice cream is labeled, stored for 24 hours, and then put out on the shelves. My favorite step is eating the ice cream. The process is definitely worth it. A lot of other customers seem to agree. In Chapel Hill, I'm Chelsea Moody, Carolina Week.
Wow, just watching that piece, I think you heard everybody in the studio say, oh, that looks so good.
I am starving. Pizza on me afterwards when I get a real salary, of course.
Of course. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching and have a good night.